Hey guys, welcome back to another video session. This is Paul and you're watching Bliss Educatella. In this today video session, I would like to discuss about class libraries. Before going to the topic, please subscribe my channel, like the video and press the bell icon for my notifications. Now let us discuss the topic of class libraries. What is a class library? A class library is a collection of pre-written classes or coded templates, any of which can be specified and used by a programmer when developing an application programming. So a class library represents pre-written classes. So there is a library in which there will be some books. That books represent some already present data. Okay, so already pre-written classes are present in that library, and we also have some coded templates. Okay, in that library we will have some coded templates which will be used by the programmer when he was developing an application or a program. Okay, I think so you understood. The Java development kit comes with many libraries which contain classes and methods for you to use. Okay, so JDK comes with many libraries, so it consists so many libraries in which we have different methods and different classes that you can use it. These are classes and methods that other people have written to solve common tasks. So these libraries or the packages are already written by some other people that can solve the common tasks between you and the another programmer. Now let us discuss the list of library classes in Java. Here I have library classes and their purpose. So java.io is one of the library class in which we have input and output functions, and java.lang, which consists of character and string operations. String means some data collection operations, and java.awt represents the Windows interface, and java.util uses for develop utility programming, and java.applet used for applets. Applets means where HTML code will be developed, and java.net means network communication, and java.math means user for various mathematical calculations like power, square root, division, and various operations will become under java.math. Now let us discuss java.io. So in java.io we use to process the input and produce the output. So actually we used to take the inputs and give the outputs. Java uses the concept of a stream to make input output operations fast. So in Java we use a concept called as stream to make the input and the output operations fast. So in next point we will discuss about the stream. The java.io package contains all the classes required for input and output operations. So this package consists all the classes and the methods which are required for input and output operations. Now let us discuss about the stream. A stream is a sequence of data in Java, and a stream is composed of bytes, and it's called a stream because it is like a stream of river that continues to flow. So a river used to flow the water continuously. In this same way, the java.io allows us to take the inputs and give the outputs, take the inputs and give the outputs. So it is in the form of a stream of water. So java.io is in the form of a stream. That means a sequence of data occurs in this java.io package. So it is composed of bytes. 1 byte is equals to 8 bits of data. So each byte consists of some data. So in Java, 3 streams are created for us automatically. All these streams are attached with the console. So in Java we have 3 streams. Let us discuss. One is system.out, that is the standard output stream. So we use system.out.println to give the output. And next coming to system.in, which is used to give the input stream, which makes us to give the input. And next coming to system.error, which generates the standard error stream. Okay, let us discuss a code for this input output stream. So here I am importing io.io exception. Actually you can write that io.star. so by importing io.star means the all libraries or the packages involved in io.star are get into this whole program, but when we call io.io exception, only io exception is called here. Okay, did you get my point? After that I am creating a class. In that class the main method, and this main method was continued with throws keyword. So when you are giving an input by using system.in, so we have to use throws keyword. Okay, throws io exception. Okay, and we are going to print something and int example. So the data which is an integer is going to read by system.int.read. so there is an another way by using the scanner class, that means import java.scanner. by importing this you can also read the given data. so initially we will initialize it as int example. After that in the next step I am going to take a scanner. so scanner sum x equals to new scanner of. so this allows us to take the inputs by using system.in. so here in this bracket I used to represent system.in. so this is one method and this is the another method. so for example, if you want to take input x.example equals to sum 20. okay, in this way we can take the inputs by using system.in stream. so here we are using system.out stream to give the output, and after that the same example is printed here. After that we are going to represent the error print. so error stream is usually uses to print the error. so here I print r. so r ASCII value is 114, so 114 is printed here. so here I want to print the error stream, so it was printed as gh, but you may notice that it is in red color, which shows that it is an error. okay, in this way the io stream works. Now let us discuss the math package. so in this math package we have different operations. Java math class provides several methods to work on mathematical calculations like minimum, maximum, average, sine, cos, tan, round, seal, floor, abstract, etc. so actually the syntax for this java.math is math.operation. so this operation represents it is a minimum operation, maximum operation, average operation, or some other. so here is a small example. Here I am importing java.math.package. in that package I am going to create a class named as x, and in that class I am taking two variables a and b, and I am going to find which is the maximum of a comma b. while in C or any other languages we have to write some more operations. If you want to represent a is maximum than b, we have to write the if clause and then we have to print it. But there is no need to create a if clause here. We can directly print by using the math package, which has some pre-written libraries or pre-written program in it. So I think so you understood it. If you have any doubts, comment below and like the video and press the bell icon for my notifications. Thank you everyone.